Welcome back to Fox 43 AM Live. Join us now, our friends with electrical specialists, here to talk to us a little bit about more Christmas light maintenance and troubleshooting, really. But I think at the same time, this is good for all year round.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for having us, Dane.
Of course.
So today is going to be number 4 of a 4-part series. We went over the last 3, which was Christmas electrical safety tips. The first one being tamper-resistant receptacles. So, like us as kids, we don't get shocked putting the fork in the
Yes.
right in the socket. We went over space heaters. Make sure they have a tip switch on it so they don't burn the carpet up. And then Christmas lights. We just went over some basics of that. So today on the 4-part series, this is Steve Burnett here. He's going to help us out. This is going to be just a little bit of holiday safety tip to actually help you save money on your next electrical service call, or lack thereof, if we can stop it.
That's wonderful.
But this one's going to be a basic, hey, we get these calls all the time. Brandon, we went outside, we plugged in our electrical, our Christmas lights, and they don't work. So now what do we do? So
Yes, been there a lot.
Our resident specialist in all things troubleshooting, Steve, here, what would we do if I plug those lights in outside and they don't come on? What's the first thing that we would look for?
Well, the first thing you got to do is make sure that it's not the Christmas lights themselves that have gone bad. So what you want to do with that is you want to find a receptacle that you know is currently working and plug them in and just see if they come on.
Okay.
Like the kitchen where the coffee pot's at, or something we use every day?
Definitely one you know that is working.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. So I take them inside, I plug them in there, they come on. Okay, now I know that they work, it's not the lights. Then what would the next thing that I'd be looking for be?
Well, then you're going to go back out and you're going to check the receptacle itself. The receptacle may or may not be a GFI receptacle.
Okay, so okay, so one of these, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, one like this. I know you've talked about these before, but they have the test and reset button on them. You want to check these and make sure that it's not tripped. And you test that just by pushing a button. Sometimes you can't visually see. They have lights on them. Some of those lights are going to be green, some of them are red, and unfortunately, there's no standard for that. So that receptacle, and if you were to tell me over the phone that you've got this light on or that light on, there's no way for me to tell you if that's correct, because they all do it differently. But you push the button in and you make sure that it resets. Now, if it doesn't reset, then that means that there's no power coming to it, and we'd want to go somewhere else.
Okay.
So where else might I look? If I press that button, and obviously it's pretty simple, like this one has no power to it, nothing happens, right? So now I'm on the phone with you, or what would be my next step to figuring this out?
Well, if there is in fact a GFI in the receptacle or in that box, you're going to go to the panel at that point, because the panel, if this doesn't have power, the most likely source would be in the electrical panel.
Okay, and what would I be looking for in the panel? I open the cover, I got all these breakers I'm looking at. How would I know which one it is, or what exactly am I looking for?
Well, you do want to open the cover, but you don't want to remove the cover. There's a lot of dangerous things in there that you really wouldn't want to be putting your hands on.
Yeah, at some point, I know when I've reached my limit of knowledge.
Yeah. So just open the front cover, and then you want to look at the receptacles, or I mean the breakers themselves. The truth is, some of the breakers are really hard to tell if they've tripped. Some of them have great indicator lights or some sort of indication that they are tripped, but not all of them.
Okay.
So sometimes what you need to do is push them together or touch them. If there is one that's tripped that doesn't look like it's tripped, you'll be able to feel a difference.
Okay.
And if you do feel one that's different, shut it all the way off and then turn it back on.
So we're talking about like kind of these switches, right?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Yeah, I have, you know, myself being a homeowner, I have a little bit of experience, but yeah, it's usually you kind of look for the feel of it. It's like a little loose sometimes,
it'll feel
right?
different than the other ones, and that's why you check all of them as you're going up.
Yes, okay. I mean, it seems pretty simple enough like that, and seeing the different little props you have here, I know that obviously, like I said, this one has a little reset button, but this one does not have a reset button. If we're plugging into this one, do we just go straight to the breaker?
No, the truth is, if it's an outside outlet, it should be GFCI protected. So if you do have one of these inside that unit, that doesn't mean it's not protected, because it is supposed to be. And the thing is, electricians over the years, we have hidden these GFIs themselves in all kinds of crazy places. Sometimes it's on the immediate other side of the wall, inside a living room or dining room area. Sometimes you're going to find it in the garage, down in the basement, and sometimes you can find it in really oddball places like that bathroom that nobody has used in 10 years.
Yes, of course.
The
Okay.
guest bathroom. So, Steve, I've looked in the panel. I've followed these steps. I've even reset the breakers. Still no power coming on. What should my next step be?
Well, it's just about exhausting, or that has just about exhausted what you can do as a homeowner. So at that point, and after you have checked a panel, you might want to reach out to a local contractor, electrician, to come and take a look. But don't be surprised if they show up at your home, and even though you've ran around the whole place looking for one of these receptacles, that he walks right in and goes right to it and finds one for you.
Of course.
And it happens, and
Almost weekly.
yes.
Well, at least, but it is still reassuring that at least someone here knows how they can fix it real fast. It's a little humbling, but I'm glad I have power back in my house.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
And so if someone, you know, does run into that issue, how can they reach out to you guys?
You can find us on the website. You can call our number, 785-845-4624. Million different ways to reach out these days, but that's the easiest one.
All right, that's great. Well, thank you guys for joining us on the show, and thank you guys for, you know, helping us, you know, maintain our house a little bit more. And of course, if we're always a little bit above our pay grade, call you guys.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right, once again, thank you guys for joining us this morning. Of course, everyone, to learn more, you can also visit electricalspecialist.pro.